Hey guys, so it was recommended to me that I should do a review of The Flash since I already do Arrow, and Flash, of course, is related to Arrow. Here's a funny story. I actually watched The Flash before I ever watched Arrow. I ended up binge watching Arrow over Christmas because I like The Flash so much and I enjoyed the crossover. I think The Flash is a really fun show. It's a little different than Arrow because Arrow tends to be a little moodier. So I didn't do a reaction video of Flash Night because I'm already doing Supernatural, and actually editing those reaction videos takes a long time. So I'm just going to talk about it. Really, really exciting thing happened tonight on The Flash. We finally really got a good glimpse of Grodd. And Grodd, of course, is a very famous villain, the gorilla, the intelligent gorilla, a very famous villain of the Flash. And so everyone was wondering when that was going to happen. We've had sort of sprinklings of Grodd throughout the season. You know, we knew his name. We saw Wells feeding him and talking to him. So we knew that Grodd worked alongside Wells. But we didn't know we were actually going to see it. So tonight we finally got our first glimpse of Grodd, and it's really, really, really super exciting. Flash is interesting because there's a lot of people who are good guys now who we know we're going to end up being bad guys. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see how that happens. Wells, yeah, he's got this weird double life, and it's like on this side he's helping Barry, and then on this hand he's not. And I don't know how that's all going to come to play in the end. Like, how does that happen, and when does he become the evil nemesis? I don't know what his ultimate goal is. I mean, it seems to be he wants recognition or power, or I don't get Wells. We also know that Caitlin Snow is going to become a supervillain eventually because she's Killer Frost, at least in the comics. And now we don't know if that's necessarily going to happen on the TV show, but her relationship to Firestorm, I think, is going to be the catalyst that's going to somehow make that happen, where she ends up being one of the Flash's villains. And that's going to be another huge arc because, I mean, if you think about how close they are, it's like, how are you going to become a supervillain to the Flash? So it reminds me of Smallville, where you had Lex Luthor, you know, growing up with Clark or being friends with Clark when they're kids, and ultimately something turns them evil. So it's going to be interesting to see with Caitlin how that ends up happening because, you know, she's so good. She's like a freaking angel. And I think it's going to have something to do with Ronnie. It's going to have something to do with Ronnie. That's the only thing I could see that would send her that way. So the other thing that they kind of delved a little bit deeper into tonight, and something that Barry found out tonight, is that he's going to eventually time travel. And I think we all, at least, I think that was a theory that was floating around for a while, that was going to be him, the red part of the streak around his mother, that was going to be him. And that theory had been around. So it's interesting that it's finally like coming out that he's going to time travel somehow. And so it'll be interesting to see how that happens. I really like The Flash, the TV show, because it is fun and it has a lot of that comic book elements to it. And Barry's such a lighthearted, happy superhero. I mean, as compared to Arrow. I mean, Barry's just so happy and like, I'm just happy to be saving people, as opposed to Oliver's like, oh, this is my burden that I have to save the city. And Barry's like, no, I get to go out and I get to save people. This is awesome. So I really like the counterpoint of those two shows too, Flash versus Arrow, because like it's two sides of a coin there, and I really enjoy it. So I really like Flash. I thought tonight's episode was great. We got Grodd finally, and that's super exciting, and I can't wait to see where that storyline goes. All right, cool. See you guys next week.